So we're about to begin. Always the fun part. My favorite part is do me a favor and help me pay students. Okay, great. We're really lucky. This is their brunch. So it's a brunch for residential students. So that's why you'll see a lot of action coming in from the side as well. Stuff might be going around. This is the part of the program where I get to introduce my boss, the love board chair, Asha Gowda, so that we can begin the second annual Founders Program. So, good morning, and Asha, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. It's just a great pleasure to see all of you here. As John mentioned, I graduated from the Andrews School in 1992. Tonight, I'm so appreciative of seeing some of my fellow alums here this morning, as well as our board members as well. So this is a great pleasure. I've been chair of the board since 2021, and on the board since 2020. And again, I had the great opportunity I just wanted to volunteer at the school, and the development officer at the school was like, well, we need board members. So I'm like, okay, I just wanted to mentor some kids at the school. But again, I was afforded the opportunity to become on the board. We've really evolved the school in many ways, and it's just a great pleasure to see all of you and honor our history today. It's our second annual Day event. This event reflects our deep pride and where we have been for our shared commitment to what's life ahead. So again, thank you all for coming, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to just a couple of minutes of my time to welcome all of you. Now I'm going to turn the program over to Christina, who will be on one of our faculty members.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Teresa Stefanoff. I teach in the upper chemistry and social sciences here and code department. And I've been in the residential life program for 11 years, living in the borders, which I absolutely love. Today we're gathering to honor the founders of the school, specifically the woman whose vision made the school possible, Margaret Van Hansen. As we celebrate the anniversary of her birth on February 1946. Margaret was born in 1846 in Willoughby, Ohio, the daughter of the town doctor. When she was just 9 years old, her mother passed away, and many historians believe this early loss has shaped Margaret's lifelong belief that girls must be educated well enough to support themselves. A radical idea at the time, right, in the late 19th century, early 20th century. In 1867, Margaret married Wallace Andrews, and together they built a life that eventually led them to New York City, where Mr. Andrews founded the New York Steam Company. Despite her success, Margaret never forgot her hometown. In her will, she directed that $2 million be set aside to establish a school for girls in Bloomington, an extraordinary act of generosity and foresight. After Margaret and her husband tragically died in a fire in 1899, her brother Camille St. John fought tirelessly to carry out her wishes. And although the will was challenged multiple times, even reaching the U.S. Supreme Court, Margaret's vision prevailed. In 1910, the Andrews School for Girls moved its doors, dedicating to educating young women to be independent, capable, and prepared for life. Over time, the school grew, moved to its current campus, and evolved. eventually becoming the Andrews Osborne Academy we know today. Margaret once wrote of her father's belief that, quote, "We shall have to give much if we are to do any real good." She lived those words. For more than a century, her generosity has empowered generations of students and shaped this community. Today, we honor not just the founding of a school, but the enduring legacy of a woman who believed deeply in the power of education. At this time, I'd like to welcome Alexis Barnett, class of 2027, to read the poem, Cornerstone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alexis Barnett. I'm a junior here at AOA. Today I'll be reading the Cornerstone poem. As we lay the firm foundation of the Andrews School today, how our thoughts go backward, straying to a little girl at play. In her old home, in this village, life a rare sweet plant she grew. Tall and stately like the lily, with a heart as pure and true. Came a man of wealth and station, food and wine, this made it rare. And she graced a stately mansion with her beauty rich and rare. As the flight of years passed over them, in her heart a sad thought came, that no little child would bless them, for none came to bear their name. It was then her thoughts kept turning to her little old hometown, and the dear old home she cherished should be made to win renown. God had given her a fortune. She would use it for the good of her loved home state and village to uplift young womanhood. She had wandered over the cities and had seen the pitfalls there, where a friendless girl might stumble into many a tempter's snare. And the woman's heart within her yearned to build for them a home, saved from all the world's allurements. Thus was planned this cornerstone. One cold morning, long remembered, came the sad news over the wire, how the Andrews home had fallen, told the victims of the fire. And the sun that day seemed darkened as the villagers spoke love of the queenly gracious lady who had dwelt here long ago. And the old friend of her girlhood, cherished friend through all the years, when in law, awed tones, they told her, bowed her head that day in tears. When the will was read and tested, and a few short years had flown, through that fire of blood and ashes came to us this cornerstone. Looking outward over the valley from the site of her old home, here in the ward dominion, lay be well this cornerstone. May the school that here is founded may help to make our village strong. From the home thrift education is what helps the world along. May the Andrews School prove worthy of the source from whence it came. May the nation pause and listen when it hears the Andrews name. Margaret Andrews leaves a memory that will live and live for aye, till the cornerstone we lay here long has crumbled to the day.
So for those of you who do not know, the Cornerstone is actually located on the northwest corner of the Margaret St. John building. We were asked this question one time, where is the Cornerstone? One of our goals now is to make sure that our students, our faculty, and everybody else in our community understands our history. It's something that is shown everywhere, all the time, beginning from the first steps of our students here at AOA, and long after they graduate. Because without that history, we can't cement our present, and we definitely can't prepare for our future. So what comes next is pretty fun. I'm very excited about this. When we first arrived, my amazing wife and I, when we first got to AOA, we started looking around, and we noticed that one of the first things we saw in this hallway was just a portrait or a photo of the class of 2006. All right, that's very interesting, and I understand perfectly well why. At the time, the goal was to represent and show Andrews Osborne Academy. The question we all had is, what about the rest of our history? What does that mean? It says 1910 at the front. And there are some other tributes to this legacy in our history. I was really excited when I had a few ladies from the class of 75 say, We want to cement our legacy, we want to continue our history, and we want to honor everything that was from our time, and then move it now to the future, take care of these students that are here now. So I'm going to introduce one of the members of the class of 1975 first. Becky, you want to come on up here? This is Becky Gebhardt.
Good morning and happy Founders Day. As Michael said, I'm Kayla Gebhardt, proud graduate of the 1975 class. It is truly special to be back on campus today honoring the extraordinary history of Andrews Osborne Academy and the woman whose vision made it all possible, Margaret St. John Andrews. Like Margaret, my classmates and I believe deeply in the power of education and community, looking forward to future generations. Representing members of the class of 1975, this year has been especially meaningful to us. We recently celebrated our 50th year since our time as students. Reconnecting with old friends, sharing stories, reflecting on how proudly the school shaped our lives. The milestone inspired us to ask an important question. How can we give something lasting back to the school that gave us so much? For generations, one place that holds countless memories for students is the small gym. It's where we learn teamwork, build confidence, cheer one another on, and form friendships that have lasted. The gym has always been more than just a space. It's been a gathering place for spirits grow and community. Today, Andrews Osborne Academy is nearing the completion of a long-needed upgrades to this beloved space. Thanks to the generosity of this community, important improvements are already underway. New lighting, fresh paint, the removal of aging ceiling tiles, but it's not all quite finished. And that's where the class of 1975 comes in. Let me introduce to you my classmate, Caesar, who's going to give you some very exciting news.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Sue Caesar. Inspired by Founders Day and Margaret Andrews believed, quote, "We shall have to give much if we are to do any real good." With that being said, the class of 75 stepped forward to create a challenge to help bring this project across the finish line. Today, we are proud to announce the class of 1975 Legacy Challenge, finishing the Andrews Gymnasium together. To complete the renovations, the school is going to need $30,000, which will fund critical improvements to the gym. Refurbishing the gym floor and Andrews School Gymnasium proudly displayed on the floor. New basketball and pickleball court lines, improved HVAC, adjustable basketball hoops for our younger students, and for the community programs. We're going to enhance security and have meaningful recognition and history honoring the space of those who made this project possible. To help make this happen, members of the class of 1975 have launched a fundraiser. It's a challenge in honor of our 50th reunion. It's going to help fund this project. We are passionately committed to raising, with your help and your generosity, the final $30,000. To date, the class of 1975 has raised $6,125. We also secured a $5,000 match, making this total we matched the 5,000. So that has raised it to $6,125. Making this total $11,125 raised with only $18,000 and $875. Those cents. Here we go. This $5,000 match came from several alumni from the 1975 class and the 1977 class. So they came together to make that match. So since it's been matched since we did raise the 5,000. That means that every dollar that comes, it was going. We invite you, alumni, family, friends, faculty, to join in to this good cause. Together we can complete this project and ensure Andrews Gymnasium remains a safe, welcoming, inspiring place for generations of students to come. For those of you who are joining us virtually today, you will see a link to the comments that will make contributing easier. We encourage you to share this information with everyone. Just as Margaret St. John Andrews imagined more than a century ago, this is about legacy. So be part of you, part of this legacy. Thank you for being part of it and helping us finish this project. Alumni, we hope to see you in Alumni Weekend, June 6th and 7th, where we will officially rededicate the Andrews School Gymnasium. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce this young man, but it's gone.
Young man. I love how you mentioned 50 as being an important milestone, so I appreciate that. Last weekend, I had the honor of thanking my mother again for all the pain she had to endure to just give me that opportunity to get to 50. It's really awesome to have you all here. It's great for you to see some of the students, because if you were to ask them how many of them use the Andrews School Gymnasium, every hand would go up. It is definitely something that impacts every student here. Can't thank you enough for your leadership on this. It's really cool. Again, what makes it so special is that the alums are looking back at their school and realizing that they can make the connection. It's not just about you. You care about who's here and who's going to be here. So thank you all for that. It's a huge gift, and it's, to be honest, every time people walk in there now, they all say one thing, and it starts with wow. So we'll continue on with that one. Congratulations and thank you. I heard you say you've given Andrews Girl a challenge, and they're going to make sure it gets done. So just a quick little update on what's going on. I am so proud of the team here. I have never worked with such an amazing team. Our team has helped increase the demand for Andrews. We have increased inquiries, increased applications, more visitors than we've had in the past 5 years. These are amazing numbers. This means that we continue to be a desirable location, and there's no doubt as to why. If you just look right above your heads, you see that one of our greatest gifts is that global learning environment. Nobody else can say they have anything like this. Yet, it's right here in our backyard. The philanthropic, excellence that we've had over the past couple of years, again, you see it. You're sitting at the tables, thanks to the generosity of others, so that our students no longer have to be stuck to the table when they get up. These are things that you don't want live on YouTube, but you have to be honest about where we were and where we're going. And an important part of that is, making sure we remember all those people that gave us the first set of tables and chairs. And those plaques are still alive here in the Georgiana Small Dining Room, so we can always acknowledge our legacy, but move things forward. If you take a look, last year we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Margaret St. John building. Just going in there and seeing where our littles are is spectacular. Upgrading the paint, upgrading a much needed common area for them. That room is where we see public speaking start. It is one of the greatest gifts. You can see a little kid go up there. The podium's about yay high. they just get up there, and that's where that magic starts, and that content. And that's thanks to all of you. The mural that was put in there as well, another great addition over there that I welcome you all to come see, the Founders Room. An important space for all of you to go and see the history of the Andrews Osborne Academy and where it began. So that's the good news of what we're doing and why we're doing it. I do want to offer a special thanks. One, I always have to thank my team. I'm so lucky that I get to walk around with a coffee mug every day. And when I get somewhere, I have amazing people that have told me and set everything up so we are successful. Not for me, but for our students. I want to thank Jeannie. This is the tough part, right? Because these are the people that really make the school function. Jeannie, Vicky, I see our culinary staff. Thank you so much for setting up this stuff today. Here's Alexis. Alexis Bynag for stepping in as a student, finding an opportunity. She wanted something to do. She was looking for something that connected, not just what she learns in the classroom, but what it really means in real life. And she reached out to the advancement office and says, I want to jump in there. These are the people that helped make sure today went off perfectly. So I thank them. The faculty and staff, and the ones, I see a few house parents here, they're the ones who have both the honor of living and having to be with these students 24/7. I know we kind of, yeah, it's true. You all remember your house parents. They're an integral part of this success. They care for these kids when everybody else is sleeping. So I thank them for all their work on that. Faculty, staff, and teaching staff, the ones who every single day show up and make sure they're giving the best education to these students. That's what it's all about. The rest of the staff and the team that are, you get to see, a lot of times you don't see to make sure this works. They're the ones who are so successful. So I want to thank them and make sure they are all recognized. The next part is the fun part. As you complete your meals, I invite you all to come take a peek, not just at the Andrews gym. I know you're dying to see that. And yes, we've had to step forward and get things like the floor done. And we were so happy that the ladies came up and said, we really would love to see the rose of the torch at the center of the floor. They got that 2 days before the company came in to get the floor done. We had to take advantage over Thanksgiving break to get that done. So I thank you so much that you stepped in and said, we want to get that done because it makes a huge impression for us. I want you to see that. Now looking ahead, again, as you saw on the back of your program, you're going to see all these other opportunities to come back that you get to share with your fellow alums, with your friends, and with the community, what we're doing and why we're doing it. With that, again, I want to thank you all for coming today. I hope you all enjoyed the brunch. And after you see that, I'm happy to show you some other spaces. More importantly, there's also a basketball game starting at noon today. So if you have an opportunity to stop by the other gymnasium, the Graham Gymnasium, you can see some of our amazing student athletes in action. With all that, we say thank you, Margaret St. John Andrews. This is a huge accomplishment. I don't like to take any credit for my birthday. I'm sure she felt the same way and wants to thank her parents for that, because I think that's where it all begins. But thanks for her whole, something that's never happened before, to get us founded and started. And we also honor, obviously, Jerome T. Osborne and Mrs. Violet Phillips for their help and assistance in making sure that that legacy continues and where we are today. But if I can have Becky and Sue come up here real quick. Yeah, one of the principals on it. Seconds and everybody else wants to keep moving. So thank you all for coming. Looking forward to that next chapter. And again, welcome you over to the Andrews School Gymnasium and go take a look at the amazing things that are happening in there. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you all on my weekend.